Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lords of the Night. With me, as always, is the Lord of Pain, Ranting Monkey.
Hello.
And the Lord of Pennies, Satsu 2 cents.
What up?
And I'm your Lord of Punishment, Scribe, back from being kidnapped by the Dark Lord, saved by SEAL Team 666, or something, I don't know. Because apparently I was kidnapped last night, according to...
By the Dark Lord.
By the Dark Lord. Are we talking about he who shall not be named, or is there another Dark Lord we're talking about?
Well, first and foremost, how'd the interrogation go?
They plied me with Chick-fil-A, and I spilled my guts.
Did you rat us out?
Figures.
Yes.
Oh, well, if that's the case, then I cannot reveal which Dark Lord we are seeing.
Oh, okay. Well, they're coming for you. They're coming for you now. They know where you are.
Don't worry, I got Squishy on watch just in case you fucking ratted us out.
Hey. Hello, chat. Hello, everyone. Appreciate everybody who tweeted or otherwise sent along nice messages to Mama Scribe. She was very flattered when I read them off to her and everything. She was not expecting it, and it was a happy moment. Had a good visit. We talked and caught up. I played a couple of videos for her that she hadn't seen of mine. And I ate too much food that I ordered for dinner because she wasn't in shape to go walking or anything. So, but it was a nice little visit. So thanks, everyone, for voicing your concern as to my whereabouts last night. I watched a little bit of the stream, and with the chat now available to watch as you watch an old stream, I saw everybody going like, "Where is he? What happened? Oh my god!" Okay, before we begin, I have a special announcement. Okay, and I want to make this very clear because I don't want to disappoint anybody. I don't want there to be any confusion. So I'm going to make this very clear, and I'll repeat this as things go on over the course of the night. For tonight only. Only tonight. If you're listening to this tomorrow, I'm sorry, you're out of luck. But for tonight only, I will be taking ad requests. Okay. Now, my experiment will be that my first show of the month, the first show of the month where I am hosting the show, as an experiment going forward, I will take ads. It's sort of like Monkey has a nipple night that's once in a blue moon. I'm going to have one night where I will take ad requests. Now, knowing me, whatever requests I get, I will probably get most of them done before the next night. But at least in this sense, I will know I have extra time and I can parse them out over the course of several shows if I need to. Okay. Now, another caveat and another assurance, I will not read any ads from anyone if they are not present in the chat, unless you tell me you don't care. I will always read them during YouTube time, but I will make sure at least to check to see if whoever requested the ad is present in the chat before I read it, if I end up doing it on several nights or spacing them out. Okay. So again, tonight only. Please do not request ads any other night of the month.
And okay? There you go.
And thank you, Three-Sided Coin. Ad for the first night of month ads. First night of the month ads. Okay. Thank you, Three-Sided Coin. All right. So again, this is just an experiment. This is a one night only. I don't want to disappoint anybody, but I don't want there to be any confusion either, okay? Because I am just trying this out. So again, if I sound a little OCD about this, it's just because I don't want anybody to be disappointed or upset. So tonight only. See, and I will repeat this as we go.
They're already trying to help you, though. Like the first ad you have to do is an ad driving that point home.
That is true. That is true. Thank you, Zenith. Here lies my old HR Puffin Stuff avatar, 2017 to 2018. Rest in spaghetti, never forgetty. Oh, well.
How you doing, Zenith? I haven't seen you in a while. Hope you've been well. Hi, no, guys, the bounty for an ad is still $10, guys.
Yeah. Thank you, tall person. Ad for Pimp Scribe from your video snake oil of clay. I think you mean snake oil of Olay, but it's probably autocorrect. Thank you, tall person. Let me write that down real quick.
See what you did?
I imagine so. This is why I'm saying only one night. So because I don't want to get myself freaked out. Thank you to number 13. Holy cats. Ad for an official Lords of the Night introduction of Satsu. and I don't need to be in the chat. Welcome back to hell, Scribe. Okay, thank you, Snubberth, so much. And also, just as a clarification, guys, I'll only be doing written, scripted reading ads. No more video project ads or anything really complicated. That was something that I'm glad I eventually got done for people, but it was more than enough. And just as another note, at least 2 people I still owe some kind of work for. Like P-Dog Knight paid for me to help him with a project at some point. I think there's someone else that I think I owe. I don't want to guess as to who it was, but you know who you are if you are who I think you are. So let me know. And 3-sided coin says he doesn't need to be here for it. Okay. All right. Well, I'll make a note of that.
You know, okay. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I closed my Steam because it was giving me problems. You know, we had that little lag there. And I opened it back up, and there's a Star Wars sale going on, guys. Star Wars games are all on sale. Did you know, I did not know this, they made Shadows of the Empire for the PC?
Sure. Oh, they ported it, yeah.
I didn't know that. It just came out September, and it's on sale for $2 if you guys ever played it. $203, actually.
You going to get it?
Probably not. It's one of those I don't want to try to relive the memory, but I think it's cool that they did that.
I'd be amazed if the control mapping is all that great on PC, but who knows?
Oh, you should still be able to use a controller.
I think I own most of the Star Wars games I would want to play at this point. But I'll take a look. How long is it going to be on for, does it say?
I didn't see. It's coming. The promotion for this one ends on May 8th.
Okay, so we got some time.
You're doing it for Star Wars Day, so...
Sure. Yeah, May the 4th be with you and that kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Okie doke. All right, well, anything else to cover before we get into the schnuzz?
I am a sexy man, and it doesn't get said enough.
Okay. Also, Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies. Hit that like button if you have not already, and many of you have not. And please share our stuff. You are a better algorithm than YouTube will ever program. Thank you, Sanguine. Yes, ads are back in a form. To avoid breaking something I love again, baked goods. Baked goods, just in general.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yes, and thank you for going gentle on me, Sanguine. I know that you probably have some mythical swords or something that are just burning a hole in your pocket, but...
Yeah, you gotta loosen him back up first.
Yeah. Research ads. Well, what do I know? Thank you, Mr. Baker. Ad for historical documentary detailing the first recorded war in history between the Sumerians and the Elamites. I'll be in the chat even if I'm not posting in it. All right. Thank you, Mr. Baker. I was about to say research ads. Well, there's one.
There you go.
Yep. I'm my own.
I just love that one came right after Sanguine said, "I'm gonna take it easy on you."
Right, I'm gonna take it easy on you, and then boom. I'm like, all right.
Like, fuck that.
Okay. All right, so let's get into the snooze. Guys, keep an eye on the chat for me if you would, because I'll have my window. I don't have two screens like Satsu does, or Satsu Monkey. Actually, Satsu, do you have 2 screens too?
I wish, but no.
Okay. I don't. Yeah, Monkey's the fancy guy among us.
Yeah,
I'm fancy.
Fancy. All right. So the top story that has come out in the last couple hours. Trump's doctor claims the president dictated the glowing health letter that he provided.
I'm sorry. Wouldn't that be a breach of ethical? Yeah, man. Keep going.
Yeah, you would think so. When Dr. Harold Bornstein described in hyperbolic prose then candidate Donald Trump's health in 2015, the language he used was eerily similar to the style preferred by his patient. It turns out the patient himself wrote it, according to Bornstein. Quote, "He dictated that whole letter. I didn't write that letter," Bornstein told CNN on Tuesday. "I just made it up as I went along." The admission is an about-face from his answer more than 2 years ago when the letter was released and answers one of the lingering questions about the last presidential election. The letter thrust the eccentric Bornstein, with his shoulder-length hair and round eyeglasses, into public view. Quote, "His physical strength and stamina are extraordinary," he crowed in the letter, which was released by Trump's campaign in December 2015. "If elected, Mr. Trump, I can state unequivocally, will be the healthiest individual ever elected to the presidency." The missive didn't offer much medical evidence for those claims beyond citing a blood pressure of 110/65, described by Bornstein as astonishingly excellent. It claimed Trump had lost 15 pounds over the preceding year, and it described his cardiovascular health as excellent. The White House didn't respond to a request for comment about Bornstein's claim. Later, as questions mounted over the health both of Trump and his rival Hillary Clinton, Bornstein offered a more businesslike assessment, listing things such as Trump's height, weight, and prescription medications. He later told CNN's Griffin, he dashed off the first letter as he was seeing patients. Quote, "I was just rushed for time," he said in September 2016. "I had people to see." He insisted then that the words were his own. "Did I really write that letter? Yeah," he said. Now, as Bornstein re-enters the spotlight claiming Trump's ex-bodyguard Keith Schiller robbed his office when Schiller retrieved Trump's medical records, the story behind the letter is becoming clearer. Quote, "That's black humor, that letter. That's my sense of humor," he said. "It's like the movie Fargo. It takes the truth and moves it in a different direction." He said Trump read out the language as Bornstein and his wife were driving across Central Park. Quote, "Trump dictated the letter and I would tell him what he couldn't put in there," he said. "They came to pick up the letter at their 4 o'clock or something." So that's that story.
Yeah, how does this guy keep his medical degree after this?
His medical license? I don't know. I don't know what happens.
Yeah, sorry, not his degree, his license, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I mean, this is a confession that probably should at least call him to be censured, if nothing else, but I don't know.
Huh, all righty.
So if it's true, let's just say for the sake of argument, it's true. Do we care?
Only again in so much as that you have a doctor who's letting a patient dictate their I don't want to say prescription or diagnosis. This was a letter that was used to say that the future president was okay. Mm-hmm. So I don't care about it as far as Trump is concerned, but I think that doctor should be looked at.
Well, it wasn't written for the doctor. It was written because this is another one of those, like, we need to take everything that we possibly can to make Trump look even remotely bad and just put it out there. So that way, it doesn't matter what it is. If he shit and slipped on the toilet, we need to be talking about it.
Yeah, to me, this doesn't make Trump look bad. I mean, that's what I expect from Trump, but I wouldn't go to that doctor.
Well, were there lies actually? Because I think what he said was it was true. It was just worded very.
It was goofy, is what the problem was.
Thank you, Chaos Eve. Hey boys, showing some love, but I can't stay. I'll catch up tomorrow. Love you. Bye. Thank you, Chaos.
Thank you.
Chaos, you didn't want an ad? You paid for an ad.
I don't think Chaos knew about this is the one night. If Chaos wants to get back to me later, it's cool. Just let me know. You've got my Twitter. Just tag me and let me know because you've
put it on our tab.
Put it on our tab. Wait.
Oh, wait. She said, wait.
Wait. Ads only tonight, Chaos. Again, at the top of the show. You must have missed it. I am experimenting with just doing the first show I host of the month. I will take ad requests. So if you have an ad request, if you're in a hurry, like I say, tweet me later. You've got a tab running with an ad. It's fine.
This also shows us which of you aren't here when we start, and I'm keeping tabs.
Yeah. So
I will punish you later.
Yeah. So if you have a request, Chaos, just let me know. I'll think about it and tweet you. All right. Thank you, Chaos. You let me know. Okay. Well, Trump is out of the way on that story, but we have another Trump story. And Sanguine, thank you. So he violated ethics and will have his license pulled unless it is true that all is fair in love, war, and against Trump. An ad, a la PSAs, for ethical standards that are actually standards.
Well played.
Very appropriate. Okay. Got that one. All right.
But to your point, Satsu, yeah, from what Scribe read there, he didn't say nothing was true in the thing, just that it wasn't his wording.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which is still, I mean, this is a doctor.
Well, I mean, I guess he was thinking, like, as long as because he said he was advising Trump and telling him what he can and can't say if he wanted to make it look however he wanted to look. And like, as long as you're not lying about your health, I don't care. Like, I got shit to do. Like, that's what it sounded like. It was like, I got fucking work to do. I got people to see. If that's what you want to do, I'll let you know what you can and can't say. Just leave me the fuck alone.
That's fair. That's fair.
Let's see. So the other Trump story today is Space Force.
Space Force.
Space Force.
Yeah, not moon base, God damn it, but Space Force. Trump pushes idea of adding Space Force to U.S. military. I'd heard that he'd mentioned something like this before, but this is the latest. President Donald Trump signaled once again on Tuesday that he wants to create a new branch of the U.S. military dedicated to fighting in outer space. That's how you say outer space. While addressing members of the West Point football team at the White House, Trump floated the idea of adding a Space Force branch to the U.S. military, a concept that has received some support on Capitol Hill, but drawn skepticism from the Pentagon. Quote, "You will be part of the 5 proud branches of the United States Armed Forces, Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, and the Coast Guard. And we're actually thinking of a 6th, and that would be the Space Force," Trump said while presenting the Commander-in-Chief's trophy to the Army football team in the Rose Garden. "You probably haven't even heard of that. I'm just telling you now. We're getting very big in space, both militarily and for other reasons." Okay, so obviously Trump has visited Area 51 and knows that the aliens are coming for us.
Indeed.
Thank you, Sanguine. Okay, I have to have a Space Force recruitment ad. Okay. All right, Sanguine. Let me get that one.
Space Force. Like, that sounds like a lot of money for a whole lot of nothing.
Well, I want to know for what the other reasons are.
Right.
If both militarily and for other reasons, what other reasons? What do you know, Mr. President? What have they told you about our recovered alien spacecraft from Roswell in 1947? Oh, sorry.
No.
Thank you, Ducky. Ad for chopstick birth control.
Oh, my God.
What is that? Is that a thing from last night?
We did a story on MSS News. A Vietnamese guy and his friends, a Vietnamese man and his friends got drunk. And they don't say who, but they all decided it would be fun to jam a chopstick down his pee hole.
Oh!
Which had to be removed by a doctor.
Oh, God. Okay. Well, thanks, Ducky. I'll come up with something. I mean, as a non... Oh, Chatmort. Hi, Chatmort.
I haven't seen Chatmort for a while.
Chatmort posted some cute pictures today of her in pajamas.
Oh, on Twitter?
On the tweeters.
Oh, my God. Go away, police.
So somebody watch chat for a second. I'm going to look at Chatmort.
So, in a non-serious sense, I love the idea of a Space Force, but as an actual practical thing, I would need some kind of justification or argument as to why we should do that. Thank you, P-Dog Knight. Who the fuck we fighting in space? That's what I want to know. I want to know what the other reasons are for having a Space Force. Thank you, Alice Morgan. The Stargate is real. I hope so, but I just need to know that. Knowing that it's Trump, he'll probably tweet out the big secret at some point, I hope. But thank you, Point Curation. Can I bug you for one later in the month?
Say no. Say no.
No.
Okay.
No.
Here's the deal. I have to be his conscience here because he's a nice guy. And the truth of it, what do you mean pay for it now and do one later in the month?
If that's what he means, then sure. You can request the deal later in the month. That's fine. I'm only taking requests tonight. If you have an idea for later in the month and you've got a tab, that's fine. But I'm only taking the request tonight. I want to make that very clear to everybody. I don't want anybody to get upset or any confusion. I'm only taking the request tonight. Do not request ads any other night in May. Again, this is an experiment. If this experiment goes awry for me, I'm not going to do it again. So just keep that in mind. Okay. Thank you, Point. You got my tweeters. You just let me know. Okay. Yeah, so that is the hard stop only tonight.
One
Thank you,
more.
Jeff. Scribe's GoFundMe ad for luxury moon base apartments. Okay. All right. I got that one. Okay. So, anyway, yeah, I just want to know what the extra reason is for wanting a space force. Thank you, Three-Sided Coin. Fighting between SpaceX, Boeing, ULA, and Blue Origin. Are those the independent space flight projects? Of course, I guess.
I feel like there's no real reason for a space force.
Let's see. Yeah, again, I mean, I want to know what the other reasons are. Like militarily, like is Russia starting to get its X-wings built or something?
China's supposed to be trying to go to the moon, so maybe we're going up there, and like if they land on our ship, we're gonna blow them up.
Moon base. All right. And the only other story that I pulled up isn't really a super serious one per se, but the headline caught my eye because when I hear the phrase Catholic schoolgirl, I tend to at least take a look. A Catholic high school tells girls to cover up at prom or get a modesty poncho.
What? That's awesome.
Yeah. Sparkly evening dresses, corsages, and modesty ponchos. That was a Catholic high school solution for girls who didn't follow its prom dress code. It swiftly backtracked Tuesday after it came under a firestorm of criticism for what students call a misogynistic policy. Until now,
bullshit. Okay, keep going. I'm sorry.
All right. Until now, the ponchos were on display at the entrance of Divine Child High School, a private school in Dearborn, Michigan. The ponchos came in both long and short styles and were meant to cover up a variety of necklines and hemlines. Students, both boys and girls, reacted with incredulity. Quote, the way they talked about it before is, if you show up in a dress not in line with what they say, you'll have to put this poncho on. Madi Charara, a senior, told CNN. Thank you, Mr. Zivsy. Moonbase, need more Moonbase. Dealer's choice.
I feel like it should be a Moonbase one.
I think it's going to have to be a Moonbase ad because I can't really get around anything else. I'll make that in conjunction with the Moonbase Apartments ad that I've already had requested. So, Mr.
Zintella6 in chat says this beaner approves of the modesty poncho.
Oh, God. Let's see. Madi plans to boycott the dance scheduled for May 12th. The whole situation, the fact that it's arisen, is laughable, he said. The issues underlying the policy are anything but, he said. Quote, there's an idea that men have the right to impose their will, good or bad, modest or immodest, on women.
No.
Students say some girls returned their dresses and went back to look for new ones. Others said they would leave the event if they were forced to wear a modesty poncho. The administration didn't return calls and emails Tuesday, but in a letter sent out to parents, the school said it never intended to make students uncomfortable with the ponchos. The ponchos, it said, were meant, quote, to remind all students and parents of our formal prom dress policy. To be clear, the poncho will not be passed out at prom, the letter read. For girls who violate the policy, the school said it still plans to have wraps and shawls on hand.
Yeah, super chat there.
Thank you, Snubber. If Scribe is bringing back ads for one day, Monkey, the people demand your screams once more.
We will do a nipple stream, but before we do a nipple stream, Google needs to figure out what the hell's going on with Super Chat, because those hurt, and I deserve that money at the end of the month, and right now they're not giving it to us. So
I think it might not just be tracked. I don't think it's not being...
Yeah, I want to make sure, because my nipples, man, they get that last one. Lady Monkey went to town, y'all.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's just it's an accounting bug and not necessarily a bug in the transmittal. Thank you, Three-Sided Coin. Screams of pain on the bike, $10 for a minute.
The bike is not near me anymore since I moved into into this room, I might be able to move it down this way. You got one more there.
I see that. Thank you, WR Costin. Could I get a PSA selling a deal to trade Toronto to Michigan for Detroit to the people of Michigan, set up by the bad people of Ontario on behalf of the good people of Okay, WR, did you in a former life write VCR instructions? I will copy this down. I will try to decipher it later. Thank you so much. But that's going to take a little. See, this is why I'm glad I'm giving myself as much space to maneuver as I am, so I can not freak out over these things. Thank you, Sanguine. Betting money men had only two options: suit or tux. Thank you, Mashisu. Scribe, do an ad on what you would do if you had a badge.
Oh, okay. That's related to last night too.
Yeah, it's a last night thing.
Let's see. Snubberth, an ad for Florida Man versus Trump's Space Force. Okay, well, Snubberth, since you already donated over the top on that one, Mash, you're $5 short.
Yep, still $10, y'all. To this story, here's the thing, and I don't care what slutty dresses y'all women want to wear. When men go to prom, you don't have to worry that they're not going to be covered up, because chances are they're literally covered from their neck to the bottom of their feet, with only their hands showing, unless they're wearing gloves.
Snubberth, was that for Mashisu? I'll take it for Mashisu, whether you meant it to or not, because I assume that's what you meant, but you didn't have to cover her, but that's fine. Got it, and I'll get Mashes.
Yep, Snub said I paid for Mash. Okay. There you go.
You want to know? I never realized how difficult it is to find something that I could use to entertain the chat with that inflicts pain on myself until I started streaming with you guys.
Oh, dude. These guys love to torture us.
Because I was just thinking, like, the Scribe was telling me, like, he was like, we all got our thing. You got to get something. And I'm like, I really cannot think of anything.
Oh, Mash, amazing. Mash, you were already covered. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll figure something out. Mash, if you want an extra one, you just let me know. I'll do that.
I got an idea for you. Is Squishy around?
Unfortunately.
Okay, ask Squishy if she'd be willing to help you with this, okay? Ask her if for $10 or even go 20 if you want, you would have her lightly graze your nuts, like with just the palm of her hand.
What the fuck?
Huh?
That's getting a little pornographic, even for a show where you're not going to show it.
No, because we just want the scream. We don't actually have to hear it.
No. You want her to do what now?
Oh, here we go. This is Satsu's one. He's for we'll do it $50 per centimeter. She'll grab his junk and shove a
no, my God,
into
no, just stop it right now. I don't need a gimmick. We're good.
Thank you, damn it, Bunny. I won't be undermined. Oh, Jesus. Thank you, Three-Sided Coin. This is for Mash too, just because I want to give you money. Scribe and Mash is cute. Oh, well, I'll certainly, if you want to give me money because Mash is cute and not have an ad request, I'll take as much of that as you want. Oh my gosh.
You know, this is actually a good one for you. All kidding aside, what you need to do is like once a month have your mom on stream, Satsu, and for like every say $20 raised, she'll tell us a story from your childhood.
Oh boy, she will be more than happy to do that, and I'm sure they would be all on board. But I am afraid for my life.
I think that will be a great one.
Okay, I'll consider that one. We'll put that on backlog, and
oh god,
we'll come up with something. We'll put that on backlog because I don't know if I want to go through that type of mental trauma. But we'll see.
Mash, given that everybody's covering you, I'll just do that one as your second. Chat, give Scribe money for an ad for pulling the hair off of testicles. I assume that is in reference to something maybe I missed, or I'm just...
that was last night. Yeah.
Yeah, I missed a lot of gold mine stuff last night, but...
there weren't many questions in chat, and I went monkey on their ass.
I don't know what that means.
You have to give me direction. You can't just let me wander.
Okay. Testicle waxing. I see. All right.
No, this was plucking, actually.
Oh, testicle plucking. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll make a note just in case I can work that somehow into the.
Corey says the end of the stream was a shit show. It may have been, but it was a glorious shit show.
I already have a name for that one. Just now. I'm going to write it down. There you go.
There you go.
You want a free preview before I actually write the text, or do you want me to save it tomorrow night?
Oh, I like when you save it. I want to be surprised.
All right. So I've got
no
that
spoilers.
One. No spoilers. Yeah, it's the same thing with Avengers. We'll wait at least another week before we get to Avengers spoilers.
See, Judge Det said it became the Monkey Sexually Speaking channel. No, I am like Dr. Ruth, y'all, only much taller.
Oh God, she's dead now, isn't she?
She's dead, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's right. I was.
Do you remember when she came on the scene though? That was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Little woman with a weird accent talking about the penis. Anyhow.
Okay, so let me save that there. Okay, well, that's all the stories that I had pulled up for news time. So if we have anything else, or shall we move on to MSS News?
I wasn't near the news at all today. I was playing video games after I woke up at like noon.
Yeah, I don't really have anything as far as stories go.
Alrighty. Well, guys, if you have news stories you'd like us to read on the air, please send them to us via Twitter using the hashtag MSSNews. Can't promise we'll get to them all, but we'll look at as many as we can. And the Twitter app updated today.
Oh.
It's a completely different configuration for me. I think I now have the 280 character limit, which was denied me previously. So I'm trying to see if I can bring up the MSS News stuff correctly. I think I got it. Okay. Because they moved everything around and changed the interface, and I just want to make sure that I'm getting everything square. So I'm going to scroll down a bit. I'm going to read out headlines, and you two will have to tell me if you already covered this last night, because I don't know. Did you talk about Peppa Pig and China?
No, that as far as I knew, just came up today. So
okay, so this one comes from Massive Dynamics. If it will bring it up. And again, watch the chat for me because I might miss something.
I'm on it.
Subversive Peppa Pig faces Chinese web crackdown.
Good, get her.
A subculture in China has adopted the cartoon character as its mascot, prompting web companies to crack down on its mentions. The cartoon character Peppa Pig may be facing a purge on the Chinese web after becoming associated with subversive elements. First introduced to the country in 2015, the character has become a meme as an icon of so-called Shihurian culture. I'm probably fucking that up. China's nationalist paper, The Global Times, reports that while the word Shihurian literally means society person, it also refers to a counterculture of unemployed people with little education. The Global Times reports, quote, "They are unruly slackers roaming around and the antithesis of the young generation the Communist Party tries to cultivate."
Wait. So Peppa is the symbol of lazy deadbeats in China?
Apparently so.
Okay, go ahead. I'm just making sure I heard that right.
Users of China's popular Douyin video sharing social media site have found that mentions of the hashtag Peppa Pig have been deleted by administrators. A list of prohibited content on Douyin, which includes Peppa Pig along with transvestite men, nudity, and firearms, has been circulated by users to the site. In 2017, Chinese media reported that parents were concerned their children were addicted to Peppa Pig and began oinking and jumping into puddles.
Muddy puddles, y'all.
I love it. The cartoon character has been adopted as a symbol by Shurian youth who often adorn their arms with stick-on Peppa Pig tattoos.
If you jump in muddy puddles, you need to wear your boots. Peppa teaches us this.
Thank you, P-Dog Knight. So it's the Chinese Kekistan. Apparently so.
Kinda.
Pigistan.
Oh, poor Peppa. What'd she do to deserve this? You know what the problem is? They don't like girls over there.
Something like that. Let's see. Did you guys do a Florida man involving a dead body?
No.
Wait, did we?
I'll read the headline. You tell me. Florida man kills woman, invites neighbors to his home to show off the dead body.
Oh, no. No, we did not.
Okay. Okay.
Super chat before you start.
Thank you, Snowbirth. Kekastanis in China being oppressed. Read? All right. A Florida man who was released from prison a month ago was arrested after he killed a woman, then showed off her dead body stuffed in a storage bin to residents in the neighborhood, police said. Jesus.
Why?
Angelo Beckford, 40, was charged with second-degree murder Monday after several people called police saying they were invited to a home to look at a dead woman who was identified Tuesday as 29-year-old Cheyenne Snyder. Quote, we had people who actually came to the police department to report that this man had invited them in, showed them what looked like a woman who could be dead or unconscious in his home, Yolanda Fernandez, St. Petersburg police spokesperson, told the News. Authorities initially thought a woman was being kidnapped in the St. Petersburg home. Beckford attempted to run from cops when they entered the residence and was taken into custody. Quote, then we had rescue standing by, but when SWAT finally was able to force their way inside, what they confirmed was there was a body of a dead woman in the shed behind the home. An arrest report obtained by the Tampa Bay Times said Beckford admitted getting into a fight with Snyder because she caused a mess in the house. He then allegedly shot her. It's crazy, Jamarius Hubbard, who lives near Beckford, told Fox 13. I don't know, but the thing about it, when he's out there mingling with everybody, he has sense, plenty of it.
Wait. She made a mess, so he shot her?
Thank you, The Originals Room. Ad for my wife's and my 28th anniversary to be played on May 5th. Aha. All right, well, congratulations ahead of time.
Congratulations. That's a good one. That's a long time. Now, it seems to me that if you're mad at somebody for making a mess, shooting them is the wrong way to deal with that.
You would be a sane person, also not a Florida man.
True. I just feel like, I mean, that's going to make the place a mess. There's going to be brains and stuff everywhere.
That is also true. Let's see. What else do we have? Okay. Did you talk about Apu and The Simpsons last night?
Nope.
Okay. Well, this is from 20 hours ago, so I guess. Adi Shankar is crowdsourcing a solution to The Simpsons Apu problem.
There's no problem.
Well, the producer and actor is running a screenwriting contest that asks people to rewrite Apu in a new episode. Adi Shankar has an idea to help The Simpsons deal with the criticism surrounding Apu. The Castlevania producer just launched a screenwriting competition that asks competitors to write a new Simpsons episode centered around Apu in a way that, quote, subverts him, pivots him, intelligently writes him out, or evolves him in a way that makes a mean-spirited mockery and transforms him into a kernel of truth wrapped in funny insight, a.k.a. actual satire. Jesus Christ.
Because no Indian people run convenience stores.
The contest, called Crowdsourcing the Cure for The Simpsons, is free and open to anyone, but Shankar asked some writers to consider whether they're the best people to address the controversy. Oh, Jesus. Quote, if you don't have any experience with Indian culture in America, then you may not have the perspective and experience to write well on this topic, the contest description reads.
I feel like everybody should flood this thing with the worst possible Apu stories.
Is that like a super nice way to say if you're not Indian, then stay the fuck away?
Pretty much. I think we need to find the author of that Harry Potter fanfic and have him write it.
Yes. Oh man, you know who should write it? Trey and Matt, because I think they would handle it properly.
Oh God, that'd be hilarious. Let's see. What else do we have? Oh boy, all these stories. Lots and lots of stories, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we didn't get to half of the ones that we had yesterday. There's a ton of them in there.
Okay. Well, let me scroll down a little further than I was afraid I was going to start overlapping on what you guys had already done. I don't care about Stormy Daniels. Sorry, guys.
No, we talked about her last night because she's suing the president now.
Did you guys talk about the Mexican caravan on the border?
Yes.
Okay.
There's probably several different stories about it, but they're pretty much all the same.
All right. I found the chopstick story, so obviously I went too far. What is
like I said, if you keep scrolling, there's a ton of them we didn't get to past that. There's one. The first one you come to from oh God, what's his dirty name? He has a dirty name.
How about fat women are taking specialist sex classes?
No, but let's hear that.
All right, this one comes from senior staff reporter and chief Florida correspondent Colleen Bernier. Fat women are taking better sex classes, which include using a well-placed pillow for more intimate lovemaking. A new documentary. All right, this is the name of the documentary. Too Fat for Sex.
Oh my God.
Looks at the lives of fat women who want to improve their love lives and are prepared to pay up to £500 at a time to learn how.
wait. You can't say 500 pounds with the fat chicks.
It's a British article. Sorry.
But fat women don't have any problems. They're no different than regular women. They shouldn't need any special help, right?
Depends. Well, no, they're still people, Satsu, but they're large and sometimes you can't fit between their thighs.
It's a subject which is still taboo and sometimes a source of ridicule. Fat people having sex. Think Fat Bastard in Austin Powers or the fat slags in the comic Viz. I don't know what that is. Must be a British thing. But for thousands of people, being fat and wanting to have great sex is no laughing matter. Emma Tamsin Hill is one of those people, and she has made a film which looks at the concerns of Britain's increasingly supersized population. She said, quote, "I've been fat my entire life. It's been the only life I have known. When I was in high school, I was always the funny best mate. It was only when I went to university I started to get boys being interested." Okay. Now 22, she says the 3 years while she studied were a steep learning curve of how men behave towards her. She said, quote, "Looking back, I think men preyed on me because of my size. It was all consensual and I wasn't promiscuous, but I had a few experiences with boys who left me feeling used. One man I was with talked down to me and I guess I just accepted it. I think I was trying to get validation from men and was locked in a vicious circle."
She's not wrong. Absolutely. You were being used. You know why? Because you have no self-esteem. Keep going. I'm sorry.
Now Emma, who has a large social media following, says her eyes have been opened and she is much more confident. She regularly posts pictures of herself in glamorous and sexy outfits and has lots of fans. She said, quote, "These days I am much more aware of my sexuality and I am quite a sexual person. Sex is 100 times better."
She said, pictures?
Oh, yeah.
All right, I'm on my way.
Okay, I'll post it in the chat. 1 second. And again, guys, if you decide to copy and paste a link from the chat into your browser, you may have to backspace once to erase an invisible character before it will accept it. She said, quote, "Fat people like me have no problem actually doing the deed of sex, but often have problems getting naked in front of people." She blames social media and apps like Snapchat and Tinder for making it possible to have contact 24 hours a day and devaluing face-to-face social interactions.
What?
Okay.
Wait, what's the point of that part?
I don't know. I only read what they write, Monkey. I don't know. Interpretation is up to the audience. I'm not going to read any more of it, though. That's kind of starts going over stuff that we talked about.
You can have sex with fat girls. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with them. And you know what? Yeah, if she's fat, she's not going to look like a Playboy model when she gets undressed. There's nothing wrong with that. Go in there and have fun. The problem here, though, is she started off talking, or at least the article started off talking about how you put a pillow under her ass so you can spread her a little easier so you can get in there. And then it goes on to her self-esteem. Which one's the problem here?
Yeah.
Is it the self-esteem or is it the logistics? Because
I think it's hilarious that all the ads have like these skinny bitches in swimsuits all around this.
Yeah. Let's do one more from Colleen Bernier, and then we'll move on to YouTube time, because I know we have some YouTube drama to talk about as well. So yes, Colleen Bernier sends us this one from the New Irish Times or Irish News. Sorry, it's some kind of subheading of the Independent. Okay. but it's Irish news. Oh, this is perfect. Pedophiles arrested after being found covered in cement and tied to a bench.
You know what? We read this last night. But
you read this last night?
It was hilarious.
Oh, shucks. Well, then I will find at least one more to talk
Find
about.
one from Hugh G. Rection. Wait, did you said you changed your name? Mr. Baker? Did you change it back to Mr. Baker? He gave us several last night, and I didn't quite get to them, and I felt bad about it.
Okay, well, I will try to...
Why don't my stories get read? Mr. Baker, I'm trying to help you out here. What's your name on Twitter right now?
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
I know you posted several. Yesterday, your name was Hugh G. Rection. What is it now? Everybody, Mr. Baker's making us wait, so...
Mr. Baker, bring me a tree. Da, 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 da.
I'm trying to do you a solid, man.
I'm looking through. I don't see Hugh G. Rection or Mr. Baker. Yeah, I'm gonna need a heads up here because I don't see anything.
We need your name, man. We love you. It's nice to have you on here, but what the hell's your name? No, it's Scribe never reads it. You said I didn't read them last night too. Be fair.
I am waiting to know who to look for. I'm scrolling down.
He's read stories from Hugh G. Rection several times because it always makes me laugh.
All right, now I've come to stories that I saw the last time I was on the air, so I know we've gone too far. So I'm going to need some kind of clarification.
What's your name on there? Okay, you know what? I remember one of the stories. So let me see if I can find it.
Okay.
And that's not MSS News. I don't know what the hell I just typed. Okay, search by latest because that's what I do, and then I scroll down.
What was the story? I've gone through all of them here.
I don't remember the name of the story. I just remember it's got a big dude, and it's like a mugshot kind of thing, front and side.
Okay.
Like I said, I didn't pay that the attention.
Oh, is it the Scribe never reads my MSS News stories? Yeah, that would be it. Mike Unstinks. Okay, yeah, there you go. All right, here we go. Found it, Mr. Baker. I guess I didn't know that was you.
Oh, that is his name.
Yeah, that is. Yep, I figured.
Oh, so you weren't complaining. That's what your name was. Fuck. Okay.
Okay. This comes from the Miami Herald. Not only was the screaming man in the Publix parking lot punching cars, he was naked. Naked Florida man in a Publix parking lot kicked trash cans and jumped on and punched cars while screaming, "I only had one beer," cops say. Indian River County Sheriff's deputies arrested Jonathan Betcher, 46, and charged him with disorderly public intoxication. According to the arrest report, a deputy arrived at a Publix on US 1 in Vero Beach Thursday night to find Betcher swinging his arms and yelling while wearing no shirt and no underwear, but with baseball shorts around his ankles. What? The deputy said Betcher was sweating uncontrollably as he yelled, "I only had one beer," and "I only wanted to smoke some pot." One witness told the deputy she had seen Betcher screaming and fussing before kicking over a cigarette disposal on a trash can. After that Bruce Lee moment, she said, he entered Publix and shouted, "You're not the one." A second witness said Betcher had been near the post office north of Publix, stopping traffic and punching cars before stripping off his clothes. For his part, Betcher told the deputy he'd had one beer and smoked part of a marijuana joint in the homeless camp behind Publix. As for dropping his pants, he claimed to be responding to a friend mooning him or indulging in behavior that was, quote, "the only way we would get him out of there." They did. A judge sentenced him Friday to 45 days in county jail.
So all he had on was shorts and they were around his ankles.
Yes.
All right. You know what? All things considered, that's better than showing off the person you killed in your shed.
Yeah, I think that definitely counts as a lower crime.
That's a lesser Florida man. He's working his way up.
Well, guys, thank you so much for all the stories. Sorry I didn't get to all of them, but I was trying to catch up with last night, and we always appreciate them. And, if we run out of deep topic time, maybe I'll grab a couple others. But now...
And Mr. Baker, I love your new name on Twitter. That's funny as fuck.
I'll try to make it a point to look for those.
It's like, who is it that has the name Scribe always pronounces my name wrong?
Oh, yeah, right. I forget who that was now. Anyway, YouTube time. Satsu, what have you been up to since yesterday?
Well, I haven't done anything YouTube-wise, but I was playing Dying Light with Monkey last night until like fucking 5 a.m.
5 in the morning, yeah.
Thanks, Monkey.
That was
and
fun.
then Stunlock bought me Divinity last night, and I wanted to play last night, but my body was like, nah, bruh, sleep is a thing. So I was like, oh, okay. So first thing in the morning when I woke up, I started playing that. So
No. First thing in the afternoon when you woke up.
Oh, yeah, because I did wake up at 1. My bad. Well, man, look. When I wake up, that's morning time.
All right.
My sleep patterns are fucked. But yeah, that's what happened. So no videos. But I do got something coming for you guys tomorrow. So fear not.
All right. Monkey, what have you been up to?
Pain in video games. Which one do you want to hear about? Neither of them's really interesting.
Were you streaming the video games?
No, I can't. You know, with my new router and everything, downloads and like playing with Satsu has been a lot better, but the upload speed still sucks, so I can't. I wish I could.
Okay.
So yeah, I haven't done anything. I really wish that story about the fat chicks had been more entertaining because that would have been fun to do. I haven't done I'm going to try to find myself a good body positivity video to work on.
Let's see. Peterbilt says, why not just look at the new shit? Well, because Monkey and them left a whole bunch of stuff behind from last night, and I did a little bit, but, you know, trying to play catch up. So, you know, there's only so much time in the night, guys. Well, any Grand Monkey stories?
She started preschool yesterday.
Right. I listened to that on the stream last night.
And apparently today, when her mama picked her up, she asked, can we go see Grandpa?
Oh,
yeah. So she came over here and came into my little office here and said, come upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
So I did. I went up there and played. We played Care Bears today.
Oh,
yeah. And then she went home.
Okay.
Without giving me a hug. I asked her if I could have a hug, and she looks at me. She goes, catch me when I run past you. That's this game she likes to play. Instead of a hug, what you got to do is she'll get close to you and run past you close enough where you can grab her, and that counts as a hug.
Uh-oh, we have a birthday. Andre Martin's. It's 3 a.m. here, so it's my birthday.
All righty. Let me get my microphone placed here in the Martin. Are you out there? It's
Andre.
Martin, right?
It's Andre
Martin.
Andre
That's
Martins.
why I said. Andre, are you out there? Are you listening? This one's for you. And a 1. And a 2.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
To
I have a helmet.
Oh, boy.
Happy birthday, Andre.
I'm so sorry, man.
Happy birthday!
Feel free to call the authorities.
Happy birthday, Andre. I hope you had a
Happy
good
birthday,
one.
Andre.
Or have a good one if it's just now
That's right.
becoming it, yeah.
Yeah, it's just now your birthday where you are. Let's see. So I, for no particular reason, because I guess my body just likes torturing me, I woke up at 2 a.m. this morning, and I couldn't get back to sleep. So I'm kind of running on fumes now, but I'll be sleeping tonight. But in the time that I had between waking up at 2 a.m. and having to go to work at 5, I just sat down on my computer and made a video.
Cool.
I posted earlier today. It is a TEDx talk, as I want to do from time to time. I did this one because the title sounded like it might be something that I'd be interested in. It was, why are there so few women in economics? I was a little hesitant because economics is, as a study or whatever, is something that I'm not very well read in. But fortunately, she didn't actually go over any economics. And so I thought, oh boy, here we go. It's going to be another theory of discrimination or whatever. And as I listened, there was a little bit of hints of that here and there, but then she got to a point where she said, there are 3 possible reasons why there are so few women in economics. Now, prior to this, she had cited the disparity as a problem by just pointing to a pie chart and saying, that's a problem. And I'm like, no, that is a pie chart. That is not a problem. The only way that is a problem is if you prove that the underlying cause is something sinister or nefarious. Otherwise, that's just a pie chart. So I was a little hesitant. But when she started saying there are 3 possible ways that this is happening, either it's personal preference, it's ability or productivity, or it's discrimination. And for a second, I thought, oh, she's actually approaching this objectively. And so in my mind, I was like, well, then maybe this will be interesting rather than being something that I'll, find irritating. Well, that disappeared pretty quick because she kind of glossed over the first 2 possibilities and then jumped right into it must be discrimination and everything else. Now, of course, at no point did she provide any evidence of this. It was all guesses and mights and maybes and it could be, and here's an anecdote of a thing that happened at a time. And the problem that I had, though, is that this lady wasn't some off-the-street individual. She had a BA in economics, and she had a master's of philosophy in economics research, which is not quite a PhD, but it's a stepping stone towards it if you decide to go that far. So she wasn't, just some random Joe, and she works at The Economist as a journalist. So she is a bona fide expert in economics, which is why it was so much more depressing to listen to her just waffle on, as the British would say, and not actually say anything substantive, Irate Bear. But the thing was that I noticed is that at different points, it's almost like her research ethic bled through a little bit into her conspiracy theory ideology stuff, because she admitted she didn't have all the answers. She talked about the possibilities beyond just discrimination. It was almost like her rational, critical thinking skills that she must have gained in getting her master's were fighting against the need to sort of broadcast that there was some conspiracy against women. It's a very odd sort of thing, but it was also very depressing because I thought, here's somebody who has a high education, who has all the credentials you would think would commend them to actually speak intelligently about this, but she doesn't. And so it's a TEDx talk where ultimately it doesn't achieve anything, but I just wanted to work on it because it is a glowing example of what I've talked about before, and that is this God of the gaps tactic of presenting a statistical disparity and then without any evidence or context saying that it is a problem and that it is in and of itself evidence of something evil going on, which I hate because it makes it's like it's insulting my intelligence, and it is so thinly armored against a simple that doesn't prove anything. And yet intelligent, or presumably intelligent people with credentials that would say otherwise are saying it and using it as some way as leverage to make their argument. And it's it frustrates me a lot.
2 things. One, you said she had a, master's in philosophy of economics?
Okay, so a master's of philosophy is a category of degree that is applied to a advanced research of a subject. So you could have an advanced master's of philosophy in religion. You could have it in economics. You could have it in chemistry, all types of stuff. It's not philosophy in that sense. It applies specifically to advanced research in the subject. Okay. So it's not as if you wanted to pursue a doctorate, you'd have a master's in philosophy first as you go up to your PhD, because you'd have to be well researched in your subject to then become a doctor of whatever it was. I mean, it can apply to anything. It's not necessarily only applying to like hard sciences or useful sciences, but the master's of philosophy is just a category. It's not saying that what you're doing is just thought stuff.
Bad comic review says master of philosophy equals supervisor at Starbucks. That's not
yeah,
nice.
I mean,
That's not true.
It could be, but it's not necessarily so.
The thing with economics is there's very little of it that is hard science. So much of it is. Just look at Paul Krugman. This little fucker is a. Does he have a PhD in economics? I can't remember. I know he's gotten a Nobel Prize in economics, and all he talks about is economic theory, literally contradicting himself depending on what president is in charge. So I see what you're saying about somebody who should have the credentials to be talking about this, right? But that's not necessarily true with anybody with any degree. You know what I mean? Because it's so many of it. It's different if you're talking about, a chemist. A chemist is going to know exactly, what reacts with what. Where an economist, a lot of what they talk about is just plain theory.
Well, I mean, truth be told, she wasn't actually talking about economics. She was simply talking about the demographics in, they whittled it down to such a finite number. It was her main complaint was the number of female tenured economics professors in the top 10 economics departments in the United States.
Jesus Christ.
No, it was like 4 filters of let's whittle it down, and it came out to be like 9% are female and the rest are men. And I was like, okay, well, you've really zeroed in on your sample size and made a very narrow examination of this. I guess it wasn't so much about the economics, but I presume somebody who's done advanced research in economics would be able to present a better argument, or at least be able to present information that was more probative to what she was going after. But anyway, thank you, Circus Zero. 90s ad for Lords of the Night action figures. Please include SDA. If you can't come up with something for it, then dealer's choice. Now I can.
That's actually a good one.
I will find a way, one way or the other. And again, guys, it may be the case that I get very industrious and get all these done by tomorrow, but I'm not going to hold myself to that. So again, I might space these out over a couple of nights as I work on them. I will always check, unless you tell me otherwise, if you're in the chat before I read anything that you've requested, so you can at least be here for it. All right. And again, guys, only tonight. I see people in chat who are new or just arriving. Only tonight am I taking requests. I will not be taking requests any other night in May. Only tonight. If you have requests, tonight's the night, and that's it. Okay? That's all I had for YouTube stuff. I've got another thing I'm probably going to work on soon. It's like an hour-long panel discussion. I have to piece it out a little bit, but with ads and everything else I got on my plate, I'm going to take it easy this week, I think, especially with all the other month-end stuff I had at work. So now, YouTube drama time. Do we want to talk about the follow-up Mr. Medicare stream late last night?
We got to talk about that because it's the only thing I know about. So if there's anything else, I don't know, guys. This is the one that's been all over. And holy shit, you said you watched that stream, right, Scribe?
I watched the whole thing. So I had a little bit of foreknowledge of some of the characters involved, because if you've ever watched any of the live stream fails videos out there, you may recognize a character named Ice Poseidon. Ice Poseidon is a very prolific streamer, game streamer, and just sort of like entertainer on Twitch and such. To this point, I always thought he was just kind of goofy guy who just, makes his living, probably a very good living so far as I can tell, just streaming and being one of those people that ends up getting a fan base. Well, apparently, and I'm going to try to put this in as encapsulated a form as I can because there was a lot going on. Last night, I guess late in the morning, because I only caught it this morning myself, Mr. Medicare basically consolidated several live streaming video clips of an incident or a series of incidents that took place at Ice Poseidon's house in California. I guess it's West Hollywood or thereabouts. Now, the setup is Baked Alaska, he of Please Don't Be Toxic in My Chat and all that kind of stuff, former Kumite and all of Bloodsports guy. Or maybe he still is. I don't know how it works now. He was visiting and staying at Ice Poseidon's house. So you had Ice Poseidon, the streamer, and you had Baked Alaska, the streamer, and you had their various entourage individuals and
hangers
members.
On. Yeah.
Hangers on. So there was some girl, I don't know how she relates, named Cassandra, who was sort of streaming as a pregame show for whatever they were doing. And then some woman named Corinne showed up, and I'm not quite sure why she was there or how she came into the picture. She was some other wannabe streamer who kind of arrived or was invited in or something. And Corinne is in her, I guess, late 30s, mid 40s or something like that. Not that that matters, but Mr. Medeker was very, let's say, strident in describing her age. So anyway, Cassandra and Corinne, Ice Poseidon, Baked Alaska, and everybody else are at Ice Poseidon's house, and they're just being crazy and rowdy. And at some point, Ice Poseidon, as a prank or some other thing, decides to handcuff Corinne to Cassandra.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Corinne, not Cassandra, let me go 2 C names. Corinne was not happy with being handcuffed, and she almost immediately, or really relatively shortly thereafter, started screaming, "Help, help, help," out the window, "Call 911, I'm being assaulted, blah, 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 call 911. And there's some consternation over trying to find the key to let her out of the handcuffs, which she eventually is, but even after the handcuffs are released, there is a noticeable seam around her wrist where the cuffs were because they were really tight. And that seam is actually there for almost the entirety of this incident as filmed. So they weren't just lightly on there. Anyway, Corinne has a few knives missing from her drawer upstairs. She sounds like a Valley girl. Maybe it's an act. I don't know. But after the handcuff incident, she ended up in Ice Poseidon's bedroom where he was trying to give her life advice or something.
Yeah.
And calling her stupid because she wasn't listening to him and everything else. And at a certain point where it kind of broke down, and Baked Alaska was there as well, watching all this and taking part. She grabbed a can of shaving cream and sprayed Ice Poseidon with it on camera. This is all on camera, guys. This is all being streamed. That was apparently the breaking point for Ice Poseidon. He basically physically removed her from his home at that point. Which, I didn't see anything wrong with that per se.
In fairness, wow, me and him are both making noises. Sorry. He does handle her just a little bit, but for the most part, he's not. And she keeps going, don't touch me, which tells me he actually wasn't because you can't really see.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem with how he kicked her out of the house. Especially
since it's his home and she wasn't on the lease there or anything. And she had just, sort of made herself unwelcome. So that part I didn't, and she was a real big complainer. Yeah. She liked to voice her complaints quite a bit. The problem is that she was yelling for 911. And after she was kicked out of the house, there was a little bit more commotion, but she eventually starts saying to her audience, because we've switched at this point, at least as far as Medeker's stream, she was streaming at the same time Ice Poseidon was. So half of this story is on Ice Poseidon's stream, or Baked Alaska's, depending. And the other half is on her own smartphone stream. She starts saying to the chat, or to the audience, somebody SWAT this place.
Yeah.
And she says this over and over again, and she starts listing off Ice Poseidon's actual address over and over again. But she also gives out her own phone number so that the people following her can call her. She's also complaining that Ice Poseidon won't get her on text-to-speech.
TTS.
Which
he won't teach me how to TTS.
Yeah, because apparently, according to her, Ice Poseidon created and owns text-to-speech.
Yes.
And so only he can provide her with the ability to do this and become a more popular streamer or something. So she leaves the area shortly thereafter, gets in a car, and is driving around for a while. She starts talking about how her wrist hurts, how she's going to sue this guy. She's going to the hospital to she's going to call the cops. She keeps talking about swatting. And then she says in the car, I don't even know what swatting is. And the guy driving the car says, it means you're going to be calling like a SWAT team to the guy's house. And she's like, oh, well, yeah, totally do that, guys. She says to her audience.
Wow.
Yeah. So eventually, and then Mr. Medicare jumps around in the video a bit to try to skip by some of the fluff. She ends up back at Ice Poseidon's house, and she's calling the cops, I guess for like the third or fourth time at this point, now that she's outside the house, saying that she was assaulted, that they've stolen her iPad, that they have knives and illicit drugs in the house. Now, the illicit drugs thing becomes significant because a week or two ago or whatever, there was some drama on an Andy Worski stream where Baked Alaska and he sort of vaguely, as far as the details are concerned, discussed.
No, hang on. It wasn't on an Andy stream.
Oh, okay.
It was on a Kumite.
Oh, a Kumite. Okay, on a Kumite.
And yeah, they Andy and Baked Alaska got into it.
Mm-hmm. And there was some argument over someone having provided them cocaine, but the person who provided them that was not named explicitly.
Yes. Well, yeah, what happened is they started kind of hinting that they know bad stuff about each other, and it quickly turned to cocaine.
Right.
Andy had gone to L.A. to visit Baked Alaska, where they did the one stream with Asian Andy. And while he was down there, apparently Andy and Baked got baked together. And with coke,
and the supplier of that coke was hinted at but not named explicitly. But there was some details, or I don't know all the bits and pieces, but there was some suspicion that given where they were and the people that they've been hanging out with, that the person who supplied it, and I'm saying this is an allegation, guys. I don't know this, but the allegation was that the person who supplied it may have been Ice Poseidon. So when Corinne tells the cops that there are illicit drugs in the house, if there's any truth to the accusation that there is, then, Ice Poseidon might be in some kind of trouble. I don't know what happened in that regard, but regardless, the cops eventually show up. They essentially take her story and then they go into the house with it. And so they confront Ice Poseidon and they say she is outside and she says that she was handcuffed against her will and was assaulted. And Ice Poseidon says, well, we got the whole thing on video. The whole thing was recorded. I can show you that she agreed to it, that she consented to being handcuffed. So there's no assault because she consented. And so there's this video that's morbidly hilarious, given the circumstances, of two cops standing behind Ice Poseidon with one of Ice Poseidon's entourage standing there, as Ice Poseidon, seated down in his PewDiePie chair, or whatever the hell that is staring at the screen, trying to show them the footage that proves that she consented. Now, all of this is being streamed live. The whole thing is being streamed, including a picture-in-picture of the video he is showing them. And the video he shows them doesn't show her consenting. It shows her screaming and complaining and him ordering them on the couch while they're being handcuffed and all this stuff. And you just see him. It's hard to tell because he's a very pale man. Mm-hmm. But I think the blood drained from Ice Poseidon as he's watching this and realizes there is no proof he can show the cops that she consented to being handcuffed. Yeah.
He actually had to say it. She didn't actually consent. And then he goes, but you have to look at context.
Mm-hmm. Context is important.
Context is important.
And the context is she didn't consent, right?
Well, yeah.
Yes.
The other funny part is when they're trying to explain to the cops why she's not to be trusted, and he says something effective like, "This guy is Ice Poseidon. He's kind of famous." So she's trying to piggyback on him for views and viewers and everything else. And the cops don't give a shit. They've got a report of an assault, a report of somebody being handcuffed against their will. They have to investigate. So what happens after that, I'm not sure. They don't really say, or Medicare didn't know like what was the result of the police looking into that. But the one thing, as Medicare called the M. Night Shyamalan twist of the whole thing, was that one of her complaints was that they stole her iPad. Throughout the time that she'd already left the apartment, people were tweeting her and calling her and messaging her and everything saying, oh, they took the iPad and they put it on the roof, or they took the iPad and they threw it in the toilet. They put the iPad. And so it's all about this missing iPad. She even tells the cops they stole her iPad. And when they ask Ice Poseidon and his group in Baked Alaska about the iPad, they say, no, we don't have it. I don't know what you're talking about. But then Medicare's got a clip of video that was taken while Corinne had already left and was away from the apartment, while they were still streaming in the apartment, where Cassandra walks in and said, hey, is this Corinne's iPad? Yeah. And Ice Poseidon says, yeah, it is. And Baked Alaska says, dude, sell it on eBay. And Cassandra's like, maybe we should give it back to her. And Ice Poseidon, no way, she's not getting this back.
She's not getting that back.
So, yeah.
Real quick, Data says, what a total shit show. You have Scribe has given you the short version. What was it? An hour and a half?
Well, yeah, Medicare's stream was like an hour and 30 or something, but he was going over streaming footage that covered like at least 4 hours of time or something.
You have to see these guys, how fucking moronic they are.
Yeah.
Because everybody on social media is giving this Corinne chick a hard time, deservedly so. But Ice Poseidon did himself no favors here. One, if the cops wanted to, they could get him for kidnapping.
Yes, they could.
Handcuffing somebody against their will is seen as kidnapping, guys. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Let's see. He admitted to doing that against her will. They have him with the theft right there. Dumbasses were still recording themselves. Like, are you fucking retarded? Nobody in this whole shit show is clean.
Yeah, there's no harps or halos in the whole thing. So that was like the big super drama. And it's just interesting because it crosses between two YouTubers or streamers or whatever that I had no idea they had any relation to each other. Because like I said, I only know Ice Poseidon from Twitch fails. Sure. And I only know Baked Alaska from the peripheral stuff with the Kumite. Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. It's the Special Olympics of shit shows. It was, yeah, everybody was stupid. The only person who actually wasn't stupid, as far as I could tell, or at least was the least stupid, was the first person that Medicare made fun of, and that was Cassandra. At least she was honest enough to say, we should give her back her thing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alice Morgan. Thought 1 and Thought 2. Yeah, it's almost like a Dr. Seuss riddle.
Corinne tells us all about Cassandra getting money to degrade herself, and that may be true, but we don't actually see that in the video.
Jean-Pierre, did you see the part where girls in a straitjacket? Yeah, that was Cassandra. Cassandra, as part of the show or part of the prank or whatever, was in a straitjacket at one point. And there was a lot of assumption that most or all of this was an act, that it was scripted or it was planned for ahead of time. Corinne put the lie to that theory pretty quick when she actually called the cops. So whatever Poseidon and Baked Alaska and Cassandra and them were doing, they may have thought it was just for the lulz. But Cassandra obviously didn't give a shit, and she made it real. So it wasn't just IRL, it was the big R in IRL pretty quick. So
yeah, Jim titled his video somebody could be arrested or something like that.
Somebody's going to get arrested, yeah.
And there's at least 3 people in this that could seriously end up going to jail.
Yeah.
Ice Poseidon, Baked Alaska, actually 4, because that bald dude, he could get it too. What did Jim call him?
Bearded Steve Jobs
or something like that. Yeah,
Bearded Steve Jobs or something. Yeah,
that guy could go to jail as well. So yeah, it was a horrible shit show. It was funny for all the wrong reasons, but yeah.
So if you like sort of train wrecks, sort of in real time, so to speak, and also a certain level of Schadenfreude. But yeah, you can watch that. As far as like the end result of it all, we don't know, or at least I haven't heard yet. I don't know if the cops ended up doing anything or arresting anybody. I don't know if charges are going to be filed or what the thing is, but rest assured, once Jim knows, the rest of us will know, and we will let you know.
This is one of those times. I mean, the part of this that really jumped out to me is this is Ice Poseidon. He's kind of famous.
Yeah.
If you ever get to that point where you think that, or there's people around you who talk like that, you just go silent for a while, because don't take yourself that serious.
What always still amazes me, and I know I shouldn't be amazed by this at this point, is just the amount of money these Twitch guys can make sometimes if they hit it big. It's just like, because he was talking about like paying somebody stuff, just like talking like it was nothing. I'll pay $1,000 to do X, Y, and Z. I was like, $1,000? That's like,
oh yeah, because that was the other thing that was alleged in there is that what's her name? Corinne said that Ice Poseidon had offered her $1,000 to sleep with one of his fans.
Yeah, as a prank bro or whatever. And it's like I don't even know if that's true. Corinne's not exactly the most credible witness or anything, but given what else was going on, I can't say that she wasn't telling the absolute truth either. So, other
than her saying her lawyer was outside,
right, which is weird.
And okay,
unless that guy driving was her lawyer somehow, I guess.
This chick was
nuts
on something.
Yeah, she was.
Maybe
nuts.
It was nose spray. Maybe it was something a little harder than that. But yeah, that bitch was not all there. Yeah. But she was absolutely right about her iPad. She was absolutely right about the getting handcuffed. She didn't lie about this stuff. Mm-hmm. Some of the stuff she said in there make me look at other people a little. Ice Poseidon's a bit of a joke anyway. Yeah, he's just a Twitch streamer. So
yeah.
Anyhow, yeah, that was fun.
But yeah, so that was the bits and pieces that I saw. I know there was a whole bunch of stuff that happened with Jim in a stream earlier than that, which I didn't see, but but you guys talked about it last night on the stream, so won't go over old ground there.
Cool.
Do we know of any other drama or anything going on?
I don't.
Satsu?
No.
All right.
I was trying to fucking. I was like retarded baby head bobbing.
What?
Because listening to I mean, I don't know. I'm sure it was funny to be watched, but I'm just like, I want to contribute. I feel like I need to say something, but I'm just like, God, do I not care?
The only reason to care is that watching this dumpster fire happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. If I saw it, I'd probably, but I'm just like,
well, here's when Corinne is handcuffed and she's yelling for other people to call 911 because she has her phone on and she's streaming it. And she ain't gonna turn it off for her own safety. Like, are you fucking kidding me, woman?
Yeah.
Anyhow, yeah, no, I don't know of anything else going on at the moment.
Yeah, I don't usually get caught up in drama and everything else, but this one in particular had all sorts of twists and turns, and Jim just has a way of making it palatable when otherwise I might not give a shit. But when it starts talking about people being handcuffed and the cops being called and it's all being streamed live and there's this, that, the other thing, it's just very interesting. And it at least kept me, as I worked early this morning, it kept my brain from going completely to sleep. So,
well, that's one thing I noticed. That's one thing I noticed about like watching Mr. Mediker talk about stuff, because even the stuff, like if I just read the title and left it at that, I'd be like, that sounds very uninteresting. But the way that he talks about it makes it interesting.
Yes, he has a wonderful delivery.
Yes, and yeah, it's I envy that of the guy because even when he's live, it almost sounds like he's just doing one of his videos. Just it rolls off so naturally and without so much thought. Like, I stumble over trying to say something clever, as you might have noticed from time to time. And it just flows like water from his golden throat. Well, let's see, guys. We are, without any other drama that we know of, we are practically at the bottom of the hour, so I'm just going to make it chat time because we took deep topic time and talked about something that wasn't very deep, but fun.
Cool. I have a kind of deep topic / question for the audience, if that helps.
Sure.
I was listening to the radio today. I went out and got dinner, which was a bad idea because I came back very sore. But when I was driving there, on the radio, they were talking about conversation killers on a first date.
Okay.
And they listed a couple, and the only two I remember, there's a woman that's part of the radio broadcast, and her thing was don't talk about any other women, not even your mama. She don't want to hear about no other women when you're dating her.
Okay.
And for the guy, his was somebody who's constantly negative. No matter what they talk about, it's negative. He said he's on this date, and the woman bitched about the glasses not being clean enough. The food wasn't done to her perfection. Just everything she said was negative. So I was wondering if you were on a first date, audience, what would be your number one conversation killer? If somebody said something, you'd just be like, fuck it, we're done.
You want to see the body I got back at my house?
There's one.
Yeah.
Or how about, will you buy dinner for my children who aren't here?
Yeah. All right. So yeah, guys, what is your number one conversation killer on a first date?
I know what would be for me. The most perfectly crafted question to get me to just get up and walk away. So, what are you doing to work against the patriarchy?
Oh, that'd do it.
I'd like, with no words, I would literally just get up and just walk away.
No, fuck that. Just go, I'm letting you pay for dinner.
MCRN Doniger says Trump.
Oh.
Let's see. Bad comic reviews. Don't talk about what you hide in the crawl space. One Ton Hammer says marriage. Elias Fire says if she has children.
At all? Wait. Let's go back to that one. If she has children at all?
Johnny Hellcat mentioning a funeral. Terry Diamantis, cereal is soup.
Fuck you, Terry.
Duck Dog says the conversation killer's Ambien. Bad comic reviews. When she asks for payment, it's on the dresser. Duh. Let's see. Freedom Noodle. What you do when you hear the whistle of a fat man shell coming at you with no health? Poop myself. That's a Fallout 4 reference or Fallout reference.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
Assume. What I would do is I would hope that my last quick save was at least 20 paces behind wherever I am when that thing goes off. Jordan 250 says, just show her a picture of kids. When she asks, are those yours? Tell her, nope. That's a good one. Stunlock Joe, well, girl, I think I might order the soup special. Her, oh, did you know that cereal is soup? Me, check, please.
What is with y'all and hating cereal is soup? It's not my fault.
Let's see. Faith is Abdication, your admiration for Bill Cosby? I dare you three to attempt to do Tim Allen's grunt.
Oh, I haven't heard it in forever.
That's about as close as I can get. Savannah says they are the Alliance and they hate Warcraft. Or they are for the Alliance and hate Warcraft. Oh, God.
If you're for the Alliance, you hate yourself.
Della Hazed says, my convo killer would be if she voted for Trudeau. Ooh.
Oof.
MCRN's Doniger says, before we have sex, how about let's get tested for STD first? That's just good policy.
It is. That's being helpful and nice. You should marry that person. Yeah,
I've actually, that's kind of my personal policy before I start getting busy with anybody.
You know what would be fucked up? Somebody had brought that up to me one time when we were talking about like the importance of that shit, and they were like, would you still be okay with the person if they suggested that you guys go get tested before you had sex, and when you went to go, that person tested positive? And that was like their way of telling you, like, hey, I didn't lie. It's like, would you still give them a chance? I'm like, no.
Hell
no.
They
might you for being honest.
Yeah, they might be a saint otherwise, but I'm not going to risk my health for an orgasm.
No, I'm saying, like, if they got fucking HIV and they're just like, yeah, absolutely.
At least she was honest. I'm gonna go get myself some herpes.
Yeah.
No, just
yeah,
no.
Because honesty is the best policy still, but Jesus Christ.
Let's see.
Lord. Loktar Ogar, my friend.
Stacy Gardner says, "How's Mama Scribe?" She's fine. She is now visiting my sister, and after that, she's I think got another day of visiting friends, and then she's off to home again. It was just a quick runaround trip.
Is mayonnaise pudding? Fuck no.
Yeah,
it's a condiment.
It's a condom.
Condiment. No, the stuff in a condom that's white, that is not mayo. Don't put that on a sandwich.
She said if you add sugar to it, it is.
A condiment is a condom that's like mint flavored. Condiment.
They actually make those.
I know. I don't.
Wouldn't that burn on your dick though?
Only if you turn it inside out.
Oh, I've done that before.
Yeah.
When I was first using them, and it was the first one I was trying to put on, and it's like, why is this not? And I rolled it all the way down backwards. That's how good I am.
Yeah. If you get the menthol all over your skin, it'd probably not feel that great. Angry Introvert says, "How many Twitter followers do you have?" Let's see.
By the way, guys, you can still ask questions too. Just because I threw one out there doesn't mean you can't. What type of microphone do you guys use? I use a Blue Snowball.
I've got a Blue Yeti.
Same here.
Data Wasteland says, top sentence to end a date. My work? I'm a YouTuber.
Now you sound like my wife.
Jean-Pierre says, have you seen Close Encounters of the Third Kind? Yes. At least twice. But
long
time ago.
Real quick. James Colley there is making a little dick joke about me. But I wanted to say, James, on my last stream, you hit us right at the end with a super chat. I forget what it said, but thank you so much for that super chat.
Oh, yeah.
That was on Sunday or Saturday night.
Corey Suzuki says, better than cocaine on a condom. Well, it depends if you're trying to kill her, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah.
Seal77, The Wraith. I heard that last night on the stream. I think I saw that decades and decades ago. I don't have any particular sentimental connection to it in my growing up, but if Monkey wants to do it some night, we'll just have to figure out how to get copies of it, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if you could even find that right now.
Oh, you can. I looked it up on Amazon. You can find it. It's just, again, it would depend on if it's something that Monkey wants to do, because I have no memory of or interest in it myself, but I'm not unwilling to watch it.
Mr. Baker has a question there I want to address. He says, has anybody played Cities Skylines? I might get it tomorrow for my birthday, and I want to know how it is. It's not a bad game. My only problem with it is, at least last time I played it with it, it's a little too easy. It's pretty easy to figure out how to never have a problem in your city. They've updated it since, so maybe it's changed, but yeah, it's a little too easy to figure out.
Satsu, what is your stance on weed? Jean-Pierre says.
He's black. Come on.
I don't really have a stance on it. I mean, I think it should be legalized, and I think people, as long as they're using it responsibly, can do whatever the hell they want. But I've never done it.
You know what my stance on weed is, honestly? I think the world would be better off if we had more Snoop Dogs out there. Whether they're white, black, Asian, I don't care. Just more people like him. He is the chillest motherfucker. You ever seen that when he does the Animal Planet videos?
No.
That shit's funny, man.
You got to look up Snoop doing Animal Planet. It is awesome.
Bruno Markov, how did Lords of the Night start? It was Monkey needed help learning how to do a live stream, and I helped him, and a bunch of people showed up, and then he was bored every night for like 3 months.
Yep.
And just like, hey, want to stream? I'm like, okay. And it just became
I was bored. Scribe was available. Here we are.
Basically, I was a one-night stand that never left.
Yes.
Let's see. Thank you, Cryptic. Asians can't smoke weed. They'd be blinded 24/7. Oh.
Remember, everyone, Cryptic is Asian. He can make those jokes.
That's right. Data Wasteland, how did your experiment running dual streams of 7 Days to Die go? I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah.
I can't do it.
No.
Even with, I just tested it with just OBS running, and it was constantly frozen.
Let's see. Will I watch Deadpool 2? Sure.
I can't wait.
Scribe
is Monkey's work wife.
Practically.
And same, I'm his work wife too. Neither of us is the husband in this relationship.
Subcon Jazz. What would your guys' ideal policies for immigration and illegal immigration be? Well, I mean, the policies as they are don't bother me right now. You know, it's a matter of enforcing them and people abiding by them, which they don't. As far as like what to do with people who are already in the country who are illegal and not DACA recipients or potential recipients or something, I'm not sure. You know, I mean, I don't think it makes any sense to like have a roving team of illegal immigrant roundup people or something. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So I don't know. That's my answer.
As far as immigration policy goes, we're getting full up here. It would be a mostly what do you have to offer kind of immigration. Doctors, professional people, engineers would have first thing. Other than that, illegal immigration is really the problem, and the reason it's a problem is that we don't enforce the rules that exist. And if we did, there wouldn't be an issue. So that's about it.
I personally think that it's a combination of things that is causing this problem. Not only the fact that the rules aren't being enforced, in which they should, and there are a lot of people over here who are invested in keeping that to be the case, but also the fact that even the procedures that we have to get people over here properly are just fucked and not efficient. So the problem is coming from a lot of directions, and I feel like if people started having more of an honest conversation about it, that we could fix those things as they come. But because people keep trying to pretend like the problem is definitively one thing or the other, I don't think we're getting anywhere. So if I had control of that, then I would be focusing on one situation at a time and trying to solve them as best as possible, as opposed to just trying to find some, one size fit all solution to fix everything, which is what it seems like they're trying to do right now.
Real quick, because this is the one thing I've heard, God, for 20 years now, is that our immigration stuff takes too long, and there's too much bureaucracy and all that. And I don't disagree, because I've heard the shit people have to go through, and it could definitely probably be streamlined. But I'm very curious how many illegals actually even tried.
Yeah. I mean, there's that too.
Yeah.
Where was that one? I saw a question I wanted to. Where'd it go?
It's on there somewhere.
Yeah, let me scroll back up.
Let's see. XGC Scrappy says one size fit all solution. Come here illegally, or get the catapult back across the wall.
No, Satsu's absolutely right about there. I mean, the way our immigration works, you guys should look it up sometime. It is not easy.
No,
there's so much bureaucracy to it.
Yeah, I've had coworkers and people that I know who've gone through the process, and it is not easy. And there's a lot of pitfalls, and there's a lot of bureaucracy bullshit that happens. I don't know how necessarily you cut down on the potentials of bureaucracy breaking down, because bureaucracy always has problems.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of actually room to maneuver for people who come here illegally. You can come here illegally and apply for asylum immediately. Even if you cross the border illegally, you have 1 year from having arrived in the country to apply for asylum. If you can, and of course, you have to prove your case to then get asylum. But if you are truly coming from a situation or a place where your life is under threat, like so many, I've read so many stories of people who got caught 10 years after sneaking into the country, and then they try to apply for asylum, and they're like, No. It's like, even if your situation was true back then, you can't prove it now. And thank you, Cryptic. Took my family 12 years to bring my sister here and thousands of dollars. Fuck these illegals.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes it even more of a slap in the face to the people that actually went through all the process. Even if the process is archaic and Byzantine, they still went through it. They still paid their dues, even if it could be streamlined. So it doesn't make it any better.
Circus Zero asks, there's a red moon out, so it's tonight Horde night. I hope not. I don't have any traps set up. Mm-hmm. We need Weebo.
Her blade trap, that's a different type of trap.
It's easier to immigrate to the US than to Mexico or Canada. That may be true. It doesn't necessarily mean ours is a good system.
Guys, I am starting to fade out. I know it seems kind of weird. I think I'm going to have to wrap up here in about 5 minutes and call it a 15 because I'm starting to fall asleep.
Cool. All right, man. Well, you've been up forever. So.
Yeah, I've been up since 2. So, I know.
Me and Monkey can carry the last 15, man. We got this.
Oh, I can just leave the window open and just like conk out, and it'll still just be sitting there, and the stream will go on for hours and hours and hours.
Ever.
So yeah, guys, 5-minute warning. I'm sorry. I am just completely out of it, and my gas tank ran out about 10 minutes ago, and I've been just sort of holding my head up.
That's how I felt last night at about 4:45 in the morning when me and Satsu here were trying to finish one goddamn quest because we were both so tired.
Yeah,
there were like intervals when we were like trying to do the mission, and just like we both just stopped and be like, "What were we doing?"
Yeah, that was bad.
RJ Bansma says NASCAR bought out ARCA recently. Thoughts? I don't know what ARCA is. I'm assuming it's some kind of race car thing. I don't follow NASCAR or anything.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure what ARCA is.
Ex-Bubba Hotep. Just think of all the extra super chats on a 12-hour stream. Well, I mean, if you want I could leave the stream running. There won't be any more ad requests honored. But if you guys want to keep super chatting for the next 12 hours as I do nothing but sleep and just leave the thing open, you can talk to yourselves. Sure. No, I'm not going to do that.
Cody has a good question for you there, Scribe. What's a famous movie that you've never seen?
A famous movie that I have never seen.
There ain't none. This man watches even the most weirdest shit.
A famous movie I have never seen. You know what? Ishtar.
Oh, okay.
I've never actually watched Ishtar. It's famous for all the wrong reasons, but I've never actually seen it. I've only seen bits and pieces because God knows I wouldn't want to find a copy if I could.
Basically, ARCA is discount NASCAR for up-and-coming drivers. Well, hopefully it works out for the ones who got picked up.
Are they going to retain their racer girls or whatever? Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah. What were they called again? I forget. They had a name. Not like the Pit Girls or something. They were like NASCAR.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I don't remember now.
Somebody tell us.
Somebody tell us in the next couple of minutes because I'm.
Which Menace to South Central character best fits you individually?
Which now?
Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. Which characters?
Do I remember the characters' names? I don't know.
Most like me, I would say, sadly, Lope Dog.
Oh, Grid Girls. That was
that's what it was, yeah.
That was it.
It's probably Trey for me.
Ashtray.
It's been so long since I saw that movie. I sound like a chump not knowing the names of the characters. I'm sorry. Oh no! You know who I'd be? I don't know his name in the movie, but as given my role on the stream so many times, I'd be the message guy.
Message.
That was Keenan Ivory Wayans. Yeah.
Oh. Sorry, guys. Like half of the power in my house just went out and then turned back on. So I was trying to see if I was still here.
Good night. Wait, come everybody. Good night. We're about to shut off anyway. Say good night, everybody.
Thank you, Alice Morgan. Ad request: Starship Trooper type PSA about the Freedom Cannon to shoot illegals back over the border. Oh Jesus.
Yo. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There we go. I'll come tuck in a few minutes, baby. Love you.
All right, guys. That's going to bring us, by the time I finish this sentence, it's probably going to put us over the top there. Did you have something, Monkey, before we go?
I actually wanted to talk about something real quick. Hate Camel told an excellent abortion joke on Twitter, and if you haven't seen it, make sure you go look it up.
All right. Well, guys, apologies for the shortish stream. I'm out of it. I'm just floating at this point. So, everyone in the chat, thank you so much for joining us, as you always do. You're the best chat in YouTube, bar none. Thank you, moderators, for keeping an eye on things. But of course, our chat is also, in relative terms, one of the most well-behaved chats on YouTube.
Yes.
Everyone who donated, thank you so much for your generosity. I will get working on those ads. I may do them all tomorrow night. I may space them out over the next several days, depending on my schedule and stamina. And I hope you enjoy them when I get to them. Again, guys, that was only tonight. If I do another ad night, I'll make sure to make a prior announcement to give people a heads up. But no more ad requests in the month of May, just so you know. Thank you so much, though. Monkey, Satsu, as always, thank you for joining me. Everyone, your lives make us sad. I will, shit, there goes my brain. We will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.